Hello, dear students. I hope that all of you are staying at home and keeping well. Today, I'm going to discuss an important topic of English grammar. It is right form of verb, subject-verb agreement. This class is meant for the students of classes 6 and 7 of Rajuk Uttara Model College. I am Mohammad Ramjan Ali, lecturer in English, Bangla Medium Morning Shift, Rajuk Uttara Model College. Let's start our discussion. This is first lecture and I think you will be highly benefited from this video lecture. Aims of this lesson. After watching this video, you will be able to learn the definition of verb, learn the classifications of verb briefly, learn some structures of tenses indirectly, learn some important rules of using right form of verb. Introduction. The right form of verb encompasses most of the grammatical rules of English language. Every element of a sentence eventually relates to the verb. The verbs appear differently in a sentence with the basis of their subjects, tenses, moods, voices, modals, etc. So, learning about verb and its classifications is a must. Now, the question is, what is verb? A verb is a word that shows an action or state, situation, or position of the subject in a sentence. For example, my mother told us an interesting story. In this sentence, told is verb that tells us the action of the subject, my mother. My uncle is a doctor. In this sentence, the verb is states the state or situation of the subject, my uncle. In the next sentence, you have a car. The verb have tells us about the position of the subject, that is you. A verb can be one word or more than one word. It usually comes after the subject in a sentence. For example, they play cricket. Here, play is the verb and only one verb. They are playing cricket now. In this sentence, there are two verbs, are and playing. They have been playing cricket for an hour. Here, there were three verbs, have been and playing. In the next sentence, they will have been playing cricket for an hour. We have got here four verbs, will, have, been and playing. In the next sentence, cricket will have been being played by them for an hour. There are five verbs, will, have, been, being, and played. Kinds of verb, briefly. Verbs can be classified on different grounds or categories. The main classifications are given below. Verbs are of mainly two types, finite verbs and non-finite verbs. Finite verbs. Finite verbs are of two types. A, principal or main verb. B, auxiliary or helping verb. Principal verb. Principal verbs are also of two kinds. One, transitive verb and two, intransitive verb. B, auxiliary or helping verb. There are mainly two types of auxiliary verbs. They are one, primary or tense auxiliaries. Primary or tense auxiliaries can be categorized into three grounds. One, to be verb. Am, is, are, was, were, be, being, and been. Two, to do verb. Do, does, and did. And three, to have verb. Have, has, and had. Number two, modal auxiliaries or modals. Shall, should, will, would, can, could, might, must, ought to, used to, need, dare, am to, is to, are to, was to, were to, have to, has to, had to, be plus going to. That is, am going to, is going to, are going to, was going to, were going to, had better, would rather, etc. are called modal auxiliary verbs. Note, used to, need, and dare are called semi-modals. Example sentences of different types of finite verbs. A, he has eaten his lunch. In this sentence, there are two verbs, has and eaten. Has is used here as a helping verb and eaten is the principal verb. This is the past participle form of eat. B, a good student goes to school every day. In this sentence, there is only one verb, that is go, and it is a principal verb. I have an Australian pen friend. In this sentence, we have got only one verb, that is have. But have is used here as a principal verb, not an auxiliary verb. D, they were swimming in the river. There are two verbs. One is were and another is swimming. Were is used here as an auxiliary verb and swimming as the main verb or principal verb. We should love our motherland. Here, should is a modal auxiliary verb and love is the principal verb. Sakib is a good cricketer. In this sentence, is used as a principal or main verb. Rice has been eaten by me. Here, there are three verbs, has, been, and eaten. First two, that is has and been, are used as auxiliary verb and eaten as the principal verb. A letter will be being written by her. In this sentence, we can see four verbs, will be, being, and written. First three verbs are used as auxiliary verbs, and the last one, that is written, that has been come from the main verb write, and it is used here as principal verb. She had been my teacher. In this sentence, had is used as an auxiliary verb and been is used as a principal verb. In the next sentence, you need not go there. Here need is an auxiliary verb and go is a principal verb. Special note for the students. One, if a sentence has only one finite verb, this verb is a main or principal verb. And we can see this type of verb in sentence B, C, and F. Two, if there are two or more finite verbs in a sentence, the verb that comes later is a principal verb and the other verb or verb is auxiliary or helping verb. This type of verbs are seen in sentence A, D, E, G, H, I, and J. 3. A modal verb can never be used as the principal verb because after it, using a principal verb is a must. Example sentences are E, H, and J. Kinds of verb continuing. Non-finite verbs. Non-finite verbs are of three types: A, infinitive; B, gerund; and C, participle. Infinitive. Form or structure of infinitive. 2 plus base form of verb. This is the basic structure of infinitive, but there are some other forms. Different forms of infinitive. 1. Present or simple or full infinitive. That is 2 plus verb 1. For example, to buy, to run, to speak. Example sentences are A. We eat to live. In this sentence, eat is the principal verb, that is the finite verb, and to live is a non-finite verb, here infinitive. B. There are two questions to answer. Here, are is used as the principal verb, that is finite verb, and to answer is an infinitive. 2. Bare infinitive. That means only the base form of verb is called bare infinitive. For example, buy, sing, cross, etc. Example sentences are, we helped her buy a book. In this sentence, help is used as the finite verb and the second verb, buy, is used here as a bare infinitive. Because look at the form of the verb, there is no to before this verb. B, my teacher let me go to the field. Here, go is the bare infinitive form. Gerund. Form or structure of gerund, verb 1 plus ing. Example sentences of gerund. A. Swimming is a good exercise. Here, swimming is a gerund. B. Children like eating sweets. Eating is used as a gerund, whereas like is used as the finite verb. My hobby is angling. In this sentence, there are two verbs. One is, which is used as a finite verb, and angling is used as a gerund. D. They are fond of playing. Here, playing is a gerund. E. I don't like your singing a folk song. Singing is a gerund here. He doesn't mind dancing on the stage. Dancing is used as a gerund in this sentence. We can't help helping the corona affected people. Here, helping is used as a gerund and help is used as a finite verb. Non-finite verbs, participle, form or structure of participle. Verb plus one, verb one plus ing, V3 and having plus V3. Participles are of three kinds: present participle, past participle, and perfect participle. Present participle. Structure, verb 1 plus ing. Example sentences of present participle. A. The boys are playing football now. In this sentence, there are two verbs, are and playing. Are is used here as a finite verb, that is a principal verb, whereas playing is used here as a present participle. I watched the flying birds. Flying is used here as a present participle. The movie was very exciting. Here, was is used as a principal verb, that is a finite verb, whereas exciting is a non-finite verb used as present participle. Finishing my supper, I went to bed. In this sentence, finishing is a present participle, that is non-finite verb, and went is a finite verb, here principal verb. My son went dancing out of the room. In this sentence, dancing is used as a present participle form and went is a main verb. We heard her singing. Singing is here present participle. My friend left me standing at the side of the pond. In this sentence, left is used is a finite verb, whereas standing is used as a non-finite verb, that is a present participle. Non-finite verb, past participle. Formation of past participle, V3, that is the third form of verb. Example sentences of past participle, they have done their work. In this sentence, done is used as a past participle form. A burnt child dreads the fire. Dread here is a finite verb, whereas burnt is used as a past participle verb. The water of this pond is polluted. Here polluted is a past participle. The watch made in Japan gives right time. Give is here a main verb, whereas made is used as a past participle form. We should respect the learned. Here learned is a past participle form of non-finite verb. Perfect participle, structure of perfect participle, having plus V3. This is actually the combination of present participle and past participle. Example sentences of perfect participle, having completed my project, I submitted it. Having completed is used as a perfect participle here, and submitted is a principal verb, that is finite verb. Having played well, we defeated them. Again, having played is a perfect participle here. Having worked hard, she became tired. Having worked is used as a perfect participle. I started playing having done my homework. In this sentence, having done is used as a non-finite verb and it is a perfect participle. What is right form of verb? The phrase right form of verb means using the correct form of verb in a sentence according to the number and person of the subject and tense and other essential elements of that particular sentence. It is a very essential grammatical item and a common question item both in grammatical test and academic test. For example, the man already finished his work. The correct form of the verb of this sentence is has finished. Now, why has finished is the correct form? Why not some other forms are correct here? Because there were an element of this sentence that tells us about its tense. The element is already, and we know that if a sentence has already in it, the sentence will be in present perfect tense. That's why the man has already finished his work is the correct sentence. The boys of our class play cricket now. If we consider this sentence, then we can find that the element now is telling us that this sentence will be in present continuous tense. And the subject of this sentence, the boys, that is the head word of this sentence, boys, is plural form. That's why the verb will be are playing, not other verbs. He to go to school yesterday. Here, extra element of this sentence yesterday tells us about that the sentence is in the past indefinite tense and the question indicates that it will be in interrogative form. So the answer will be, did he go to school yesterday? What is subject verb agreement? Subject verb agreement simply means the subject and verb in a sentence must agree in number. In other words, they both must be singular or they both must be plural. You can't have a singular subject with a plural verb or vice versa. For example, the color of the mangoes dash green. The color of the mangoes is green. Here, the red color word color is the head word of the subject part, the color of the mangoes. Here, the mangoes is not the subject, rather, color is the head word or subject of this sentence and it is singular. That's why the verb will be in singular form. One of my friends to play for 2 hours. The sentence will be in present perfect continuous tense, but look at the subject part and its head word. The subject part is one of my friends, but the head word is one. So the verb play will take its form following the head word one. That's why the answer will be has been playing. The quality of all students of our class is oblique are not the same. Yet the subject part is the quality of all students of our class, but the head word is quality. So quality is singular here. That's why is the correct answer, not are. So the answer is the quality of all students of our class is not the same. Some rules of right form of verb or subject verb agreement. To know the rules of right usages of verb is very important for writing correct English sentences. It means that whatever you want to write in English, you must know some specific rules of using verb. So let's discuss some rules of right form of verb, subject verb agreement below. Rule 1. The verb of a sentence always follows the head word of the subject of that sentence. It means if the head word is singular, verb will also be singular. Similarly, a plural head word will take plural verb after it. For example, the color of your eyes be blue. Be means, I think all of you remember, be, to be, am, is, are, was, were. So the subject part of this sentence is the color of your eyes, but the head word is color, which is singular. That's why the verb will be in singular form. So the right answer is is. B. Most of the teachers of our country lead an honest life. Look at the subject part and the head word. The head word is teachers, which is plural in form. So the verb will also be in plural form, that is lead. The, the agenda of the meeting already to select. Here the head word is agenda, which is plural in form. And if we consider this sentence, then easily understand that it is in the passive mood. That's why the right answer will be have been selected. Rule 2, use of verb to be, that is am, is, are, was, were. 1. Am and was is used with first person singular subject. For example, I be a teacher. I is the uh, first person and it is singular. That's why am. I be playing with my friends then. Was. I was playing with my friends then. 2. Is or was is used with third person singular subject. For example, she be a brilliant student of her class. She is third person and singular number. That's why the answer is is. My mother, my father be returning from office at that moment. Here the subject is my father, which is third person and singular number. That's why the answer is was. C. Babur be the emperor of Delhi. Babur is third person singular. The answer is was. 3. Are, where is used with second person and all plural subjects. For example, you be a student of RUMC. So you is the second person. That's why here the answer is are. We be going to school now. We is the plural form, though it is first person. So the answer is are. They be present in the last meeting. Here the subject they is plural in form. That's why the answer is were. The boys be making a hue and cry in the class. The subject part is the boys and the head word is boys. That's why the verb will be in plural form as well. So the answer is are or were. Rule 3, use of verb to have, that is have, has, and had. 1. Has is used with third person singular subject in present tenses, whereas we use have with all other subjects. For example, he, she, Kamal, the boy, girl have a nice pen. Look at the subject here. All the subject, he, she, Kamal, the boy, girl are here singular. That's why the correct form of verb is has. Our teacher have given us homework. Here our teacher is third person and singular in number. That's why the answer is has. Next, I, you, we, they, the girls. All these are actually I, though I is singular in number, but it is first person, and you, we, they, the girls, all of them are plural. That's why the answer is have. The farmers have been working since morning. Here the subject part, the farmers, and the head word is farmers. That's why it is plural. So the verb is have. Number 2, had is used with all the subjects in past tenses. For example, he, she, Kamal, the boy, girl have a very nice time there. The answer is had because it indicates past action. Both of them have left the place before I went there. This is the example of a past perfect tense. That's why both of them had left the place before I went there. I, you, we, they have an urgent meeting yesterday. As the sentence indicates past action, that's why the answer will be had. Rule 4. In present indefinite or simple tense, if the subject is third person and singular number, is or es will be added to the base form of principal or main verb. For example, my mother always to cook our meal. Here, in this present simple tense, the subject is my mother and it is singular in form. That's why the verb is cooks. He, she go to school every day. The word every day indicates that this is a simple present tense. That's why the verb is goes. A good student to study regularly. Here the head word is student and it is third person and singular in number. That's why the verb is studies. My father buy me a toy when I ask him. Here the answer is buys because this is also a habitual fact, that is simple present tense. Special rules of adding s, es or is. Look at this part of this rule very carefully. I think all of you will understand easily after this part. Es is added to the verbs ending in ch, o, s, sh, x or z. For example, reach, reaches, catch, catches, go, goes, do, does, kiss, kisses, miss, misses, finish, finishes, push, pushes, mix, mixes, vex, vexes, buzz, buzzes, etc. 2. IES is added to the verbs ending in single consonant plus Y. Last Y of these verbs is changed to I and then ES is added to it. For example, carry plus ES, carries. Look at the change of Y into I. Marry, marries. Bury, buries. Cry, cries. 3. S is added to all other verbs that do not follow the above two rules. For example, give plus S, gives, reads, works, buys, etc. Rule 5. If a sentence has always, daily, every day, every week, every year, generally, never, normally, often, ordinarily, regularly, now and then, occasionally, sometimes, usually, it will be in the present indefinite tense. But if it indicates past habit, it will be in the past indefinite tense. For example, my father to read the Daily Star every day. In this sentence there is the very word every day, that's why it will be in the present simple tense, so the answer is reads. Next, I not take exercise regularly. This is also the example of a present simple tense, that's why do not take. Next, when she usually to come to college, it's an interrogative sentence of present indefinite tense. That's why the answer is does come. Next, I be never absent from school. So the answer is was, because this indicates past habit. We always bathed in the river when we lived in our village. This sentence indicates past habit as well. That's why the verb will be in the past form, that is bath. Rule 6. If a sentence indicates universal truth, historical fact, habitual fact, general truth, the verb will be in the present indefinite tense. For example, the earth moved around the sun. This is an example of universal truth. That's why the verb will be in the present indefinite tense, moves. Babur defeat Ibrahim Lodi at the Battle of Panipat. It's a historical fact. That's why the verb is defeats. That is it is in the present indefinite tense. My father to get up very early in the morning. It indicates habitual fact. So the verb will be gets. Rule 7. If a sentence has now, at present, at this time, at this moment, day by day, currently, etc., it will be in the present continuous tense. For example, her mother to prepare breakfast at this moment. Look at the phrase used at the end in this sentence, at this moment. It tells that the action is still going on. That's why the verb will be in present continuous tense. The correct answer is preparing. The boys play football in the field now. In this sentence, we can see now, which indicates that the sentence will be in the present continuous tense. And as the head word of the subject, that is boys, is plural, that's why the answer is are playing. What to discuss in the meeting at this time? So it is also in the present continuous tense, but it is in the passive mood. That's why the answer will be is being discussed. Rule 8. A sentence having then, at that moment, at that time, at that period, etc., it will be in the past continuous tense. For example, Mina to study English at that moment. The phrase at that moment indicates that the action was going on then. That's why the answer is was studying, as the subject of this sentence is Mina, which is singular in form. The farmers cut crops then. The answer is were cutting. We not to make a noise in the class at that time. The right answer is were not making. Rule 9. If a sentence has already, recently, presently, lately, just now, yet, ever, never, of late, it will be in the present perfect tense. For example, we were ready to finish our task. The word already indicates that the tense of this sentence will be in present perfect tense. That's why the answer is have finished. You to watch the film lately? It is an example of an interrogative sentence, and the word lately states that it will be in the present perfect tense. And the subject of this sentence is you. That's why the correct answer is have watched. My father to have a wonderful tour to Japan recently has had, because the head word of the subject is father, which is singular in form, that's why has, and the past participle form of have is had. Rule 10. A sentence that expresses an action that started in the past and is continuing at the present time is said to have been in the present perfect continuous tense. For example, they to live in Dhaka for 10 years. The sentence indicates that the action started earlier and it is still going on. So the verb will be in present perfect continuous tense. And we know that a present perfect continuous tense takes have been or has been after the subject and the verb plus ing form. Here, have been is used because the subject is plural, that is they. She read in this college since 2018. Answer is has been reading. The work to do for 3 hours by the workers. Look at this sentence. It's an example of a passive form, and the subject is here the work, which is singular in form. That's why the answer is has been being done. Special note for the students, for is used with period of time since is used with point of time. So far, I have discussed 10 rules of using right form of verb. And now I am going to discuss about the question pattern and approaches or ways to answer them in the exam. There might be two types of questions in your exam. One, detached sentences, and two, passage. Detached sentences. 8 or 10 detached sentences on different contexts, each having a verb inside the brackets, are given in the question paper for testing the students. You will have to write down the corresponding numbers serially in a column or two columns and then write the correct form of verbs. You need not copy any sentence on your answer script. Sample question. Write the correct form of verb given inside the brackets. Look at the sentences given here. There are 10 sentences having 10 verbs inside the brackets, and they have been said on different contexts. You will have to find out the right form of verbs considering the related rules. Now look at the answer to this question. These are the answers. If you will consider each of them separately, you will get the answer like this. Passage-based right form of verbs. A short passage on a particular context having 8 or 10 verbs inside the brackets is given in the question paper for testing the students. You will have to write down the corresponding numbers serially in a column or two columns and then write the correct form of verbs. You need not copy the passage on your answer script. Sample question, fill in the gaps with the right forms of verbs in the brackets. Look at the passage here. It's a contextual passage. That means it's been taken from a story, and there are 8 gaps or 8 verbs inside the bracket. You will have to write the correct form of those verbs. Answer to these questions. A was told, an emperor was told that some of his subjects in a distant province revolted. The story happened in the past. That's why the answers will be like this. Thank you all for watching this video, and I'm going to make another video covering the next rules of right form of verb. So wait for that video and stay connected. And if you have any query, you can mail me to this email. Stay home, stay safe. Everybody remain safe.